Hello, hello, hello. Crafty Chris here for another Scrap Your Scraps Thursday nights. Tonight we're just going to make some simple cards from a bunch of pieces that were sent to me. Well, I should probably pull those together in a trade. So it's a theme trade, and every month I get an envelope of things to work with. A lot of the stuff that I originally got was uncolored and not cut up. I've gone and done some fussy cutting. So here's an example of how it came on a paper. And then I've cut the bunnies down and the chick down to the size I needed for my cards, because I felt that they were originally the A2 size, and I felt that I would cover up the stuff, the images of the bunnies, if I put a Happy Easter or one of the colored in elements. And I'm just going to take there we go. I'm taking my camera off of auto because I'm noticing it's jumping around a bit. All right, so I need to pick a couple of colors. First, I'm going to go off screen and trim this up so I have everything ready to go, and I will be right back. So the point, I have finished off cutting up all my little things here and coloring in my different things. So the point of the swap is to use the stuff that you're given to create cards. So, and you can add stuff to it. So that's awesome, because I do have some things I would like to add. I also have this shape die, but I'm not going to use it as a die. I'm going to use it as a template, because I have an idea of sort of having these little guys going around a center point. Maybe we'll put an egg in there too. And maybe having Happy Easter in the center. And then I have some of these fun little eggs that can go in around them to kind of fill spots. So it looks like it's a circular thing. So that's the first idea I had. Now, I don't know what color I want to do it on. This is too close to that. This is too close to that. So I kind of feel like I want to use this piece, but I need to get a background color that's not going to conflict. And so we have orange, purple, and blue. So I'm going to see if I can find something that's fairly simple in the yellow range. Not sure if I'm going to stick with that or not, but we're going to start there. Or maybe I can do, it's silver. It's got silver in it, so I don't want to go to something that's too warm. These are all cool colors. That's like really acidy. That's not going to go with that pastel-y bit. So I'm just kind of walking you through a little bit of my decision-making process. This is kind of cute, but again, a little too harsh on the pastel-y colors. This again is too harsh. This is more summer than spring. What about something like that? Let me see if that works, because there's a tiny bit of pink in there. And if we play with this idea of these guys kind of being, whoops, opposite corners. And we got some of these guys in there added into the mix. I think we need to put this purpley guy in I liked him over there. Just made it kind of odds. Then I have some of these random doodads. There we go, something like that with Easter in the middle. I think I have my first card, and literally that's how it comes about. It's super quick. When you know it, you know it. So the first thing I'm going to do is put down this piece of paper on a card blank. So I have a card blank already folded, and this is going to give me a white outline. It's been pre-cut for me, so it's going to give me a white outline, which is perfect. So I'm just going to stick this down. Not pop dotting anything just yet. Lining that up. Centering it. Whoops, a little bit off center here. So you're kind of at the mercy of the giving person's theme and materials. Now, I want to cut this down. Just going to get that off there for a minute. So what have I got? So it looks to me, if I measure that, like it is 4 3/4. So I'm going to trim this down to 4 3/4 because I already like the width that it is, and I like that it has the pink in it. So let me just trim that to 4 3/4. There we go. Keep that aside in case I need it for something else. And that kind of would center. So this I'm going to put flat down. There we go. All right, make sure I didn't over tape. So I'm going to line that up. I'm just eyeballing. There we go. And now I'm going to draw a very faint pencil line because I want it to go, I want these guys to go on this. And I'm not cutting a hole or anything. I'm just using this as a template to help me situate my characters. So I want to go along the outside, so I'm just going to go super lightly all the way around. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, just has to be dark enough for me to see. So I don't know if you can see it, but my line is there. It's going to help me line things up. Now I'm going to pop these, a couple of these little guys. I'm definitely popping Happy Easter, but I think what I want to do to Happy Easter to have it pop up or be more visible is I have a very fine black pen, and I'm just going to hand draw a frame about 1/16 of an inch around the edge. And that just helps to give it a little more oomph when it goes down on the page so it doesn't get lost. And I think these guys should be kind of quirky. And we're going to put these guys kind of on angles. And we'll put in our little egg there. There we go. Bring these guys just down a tiny little bit. Add bigger egg up there. And an egg there. and an egg here. And oh, I think we'll put that egg here because it has a shadow. And this egg here. Now this guy has a shadow under his feet. Nobody else does. So I think I'm going to switch him because it would be better for him to be down at the bottom since he's got a shadow. I'm going to turn that guy there and sort of even them out. So here's where I'm at. And I actually kind of like it. It's coming together really well. And then that's basically it. So I want to pop the Happy Easter. I'm going to grab some pop dots for that one. I probably only need one, but I'm going to put two just to make it nice and solid in case I do put this through the mail. You don't want it to crush. And it's going to go right in the middle of all those guys. Right there. Just want to make sure it's looking nice and centered. Okay. I think, do I want to pop him? I think I'm going to pop the guys that aren't the same color. So let me get a pop dot for this guy. And I'm just going to put one pop dot in the back. I don't think I need more than one pop dot. And I'm going to have him kind of on an angle on that corner. This guy has to go mostly upright because he has the shadow under his feet. And I mean, it doesn't really matter, but why not? We're going to put him slightly lower. There we go. These guys, I think I'm just going to be okay with them being flat. You don't want to have everything popping. And we're going to have him on that corner, and then this guy. Gotta get his ears. This guy is going to be here with his ears going over the edge. I think that's super cute. I think I might pop up this purple egg. Make sure I trim that because I can see. There we go. You don't want to see the pop dot underneath. There we go. And then these other ones I'm just going to put flat down. Or, no, let's not get crazy. Let's put them flat down. Whoops. And then this guy. It's hard to get the tape on these little guys. There we go. He's going to go in there. This one is going to go straight up and down more or less. There we go. And then put this guy in there. There we go. Now, that's everybody on there. Now I can go in and erase some of the lines. This is an electronic eraser. Oops! Which gets rid of the lines very well. You just want to make sure. Uh-oh. What was that? Oh, I found a pink egg. All right. Do I put this pink egg here? No, I think I'm going to add that to the other one. I don't want to get too complicated. There we go. I just find this is so much easier than working through with a full size eraser. There we go. And that's finished. Isn't that the cutest little thing? And now I have a sentiment here. I just wonder if I want to put that in there or not. I think I'll leave that for now. I might use that for the outside of a card. Anyway, there's number 1 card. Is that ever cute? So now, moving on from there, I have some of these. And I have these little boy and girl. And I have a bunny. And I kind of feel like I want them to be sitting on there. Something like that. I'm pausing because I'm not sure I want this to be so big. I kind of feel like I need to half that. Let's see what happens when I half this. Because I really just want it to be, make it square. There we go. Okay. So this is 4. I'm going to half it into 2 by 3. And so now I feel like this is a little bit better, so that the characters are not quite, they're kind of matted on it, but they're not quite completely surrounded by it. Oh, look at that. Interesting color on the back. What's on the back? Ooh, yellow. All right. That's an interesting thought. Blue. Very Eastery looking, but I think that yellow might be a little too much. I bet if I put it on purple, little girl gets lost. Okay, so I think I'm going to do multiples of blue here. And I have my blue cardstock. So let me just move this off. And I'm going to bring this up on the table. And I want to include some sort of pattern. And I think I see one I like already. This looks like waves if you put it this way, but this way it's not quite as wavy. And what size is that? That's 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. I might have to trim that up. But I'm seeing something going on here. So if we kind of have that thing happening there, and then I'm going to trim that down. Something like this. And then I need something to go under that. I think I'll stick to a plain. Maybe go to a like purpley blue, perhaps. That's not big enough. There we go. No, that's not going to work. That is awful. Maybe a navy. Not liking that either. Maybe we have to kind of go to oh, look at that green. It's a lot of green, but I'm just thinking if I have a little bit of that green around the edge, kind of ties into the green that's there. See, if you have paper and you just pull it out, it kind of triggers you. So I think I'm liking that. Now I have to decide. Oops. Oh, there go all my paper containers. I have to decide if I want a white border or no. So here's my card again. Everything seems to be in the portrait, but so do I have a white border? And you can't see it, and I can't see it because it's white. So let me get this down here. Do I do a white border, and then green, and then the blue? Or do I just do the whole thing in green? So there's all green, and there's a white border in green. Huh, interesting question. That or that? I think I'm going to go full green, full on green. But I guess it's also going to depend how this fits on the paper. So this is not quite cut. I'm a bit short on this end to have it be. So let's cut this out. So this is not the proper dimensions. So we've got 5.5 by 4 1/4, which is our A2 card. I'm going to leave that stuff there. And I'm going to put this down, and then I'm going to have to adjust the dimensions of that to make sure it fits in properly. And I have some weird fluffy stuff hanging off the end of this card. There we go. All right. I'm going to glue this down. And we're going to make sure that goes right to the edge. There we go. Kind of slipped a little. There we go. All right, so there's our 5 by 7 card. Now this would have been nice, except I'm short down here. But maybe I don't have to have that be an issue, especially if I put Happy Easter up there. Maybe I can leave that. I'm going to leave it. Or do I put this up there and leave it? No, that won't work. I'm going to leave it across the top, just a little bit shy, which I think will be fine. Oh, I'm going to do it this way, sorry. We're going to align it across the bottom. There we go. So we're a little bit short up here, but it seems to be okay down here. There we go. All right. Now, this I'm going to put in the center. Am I going to pop dot this or pop dot the characters? I'm going to do a thin pop dot, so a 1 millimeter 3D tape. So this is going to just be thin. Just a little piece in the middle. Okay. And we're going to eyeball it. In the center. You have to be careful because it will stick if you're not ready. Okay, I think I like it there. There we go. So that has a 1 millimeter thickness. And now we're going to put on our characters. So they are doing their thing. And do I want to pop them? I think I'm going to pop the bunny because the bunny is going to be closer to us. But these guys can lay pretty flat. So I'm just going to tape the front side of these guys because the little bit that hangs over isn't worth putting any additional tape on. So let me get my bunny where I want my bunny. He's going to go there. And these two. This little boy is going to go here. There we go. This little girl is going to be looking at what he's doing. And now this little bunny, I'm going to double up the pop at the bottom here. Actually, it's a little too much because I'm going to meet the edge, but then I want it to pop beyond that. So we're going to put a second round of pop on top. So now the bottom is 2 millimeters pop dots, and then this little piece for the head is just going to be 1 millimeter. So he actually pops off the surface of the blue paper, but at half the amount as the body. There we go. So his body is nice and secure. He's got 2 layers there to meet this and rise one above, and then the head is just one above. Okay. Just gives it a little bit of lift. All right, now we have to figure out how we want to trim out Happy Easter. I think I'm just going to keep it square. It's a very square element. And I think I'm going to do the pen work on it again to keep it looking good. So I really like this trimmer, just an FYI, because I find that when I line up things with the edge of this plastic piece, it gives me a nice almost 1/8 of an inch beyond that, which is kind of like a border. So if I go in and I just line up the Y and trim down, it gives me that nice space there, and this is how I can keep things actually very uniform. And nice and square, and everything ends up looking well centered. You see how it has that nice little border around it? And then if you go in with your black pen just to give it a bit of a lift, like so, it just helps the whole thing. And I'm okay if it's short or over. I try to make sure that if I'm drawing freehand, that it is freehand, so you can see things that go over and don't quite meet. And then people know it was intentional rather than having a wiggly bad line. And then I think I'm going to pop that right over there. So again, 1 millimeter. And I want to pop that across the top. I actually think I may so I'm going to pop this across the bottom. So that's going to go there, and I will double, well, I have 1 millimeter or 2 millimeter here, so rather than double, I'm just going to take a piece of the 2 millimeter and run that across the top. So now I have 2 layers of pop dot that you can see there. Okay, I have one that is 1 millimeter and another that is 2 millimeter, and I'm actually going to be very careful, so I want that to sort of come there so that it's, there we go. All right, very nice. Now one thing I didn't do any sparkling here, but I'm actually going to go back in and do some glossy accents on a few things here. So I'm going to go in, and where my dots are, oop, gotta get it started. Have my special little poker tool for that. There we go. Hopefully it won't come out too fast. Oh, there we go. So just as it comes out, I'm just going to touch it lightly to the little dots on the egg. And I want to do the noses on these guys because I want some dimension. I want some bright and cheerful noses because we like our nomies with big noses. There we go. And I think maybe I'll do some shoes. Because they're kind of things that are out in front. So that helps give it dimension as well. And a little bit of sparkle. There we go. So that's that one. And on here, I'm going to put some dimension on those eggs. And the bunny's eyeballs. And I think that's it. Now, I do have a problem, and it's probably something I shouldn't worry about. I don't like the white that's in the background. Whoops. You don't want to touch that. I don't like the white that's in the background, so I'm going to try and find a blue, whoa, not that one, that will kind of match the color of that light paper. Could be trickier than I want. That might actually work. I think we're going with that one. So I'm going to go in and just color that, because it was bothering me. And if it's bothering you, you should deal with it. All right, that worked out fairly good. That looks almost like a perfect match. That's crazy. Oh, she has some space between her legs there. I should fill that in as well. And maybe this little bit there. There we go. I am very happy with that now. Just have to let it dry. All right. Now we still have these little girls and we still have this combination. So these guys are pretty fun, all on their own. And I kind of feel like I can maybe even get 3 more cards out of this grouping. I actually like the grouping with the 2 of them together. So I think I'm going to take that blue pen and finish off the background. Because I do have another blue. There we go. All right, so these guys are ready, but I don't have a bunny for that one. I did, but I somehow lost it in my cutting up of things. This little egg, I think I'll just put that with the sentiment as a little additional thing. Do I put these guys together? What do I do? What do I do? I wish this was alive and I would ask you, and maybe you could help me with the figuring out of that. No, these guys are going to go on here. I am going to make another one exactly like I made this one, but with a different background papers. And this what's on the back of this? Yellow. So just playing, that would work. And it doesn't have to be perfect because, you know, we all do different things with color. I like the yellow background. I even like it that size. So what are we going to pull out? Maybe we can pull out some turquoisey blue. Again, I'm digging into my pile of blue stuff. I like that patterning. But I think, do I think the darker is better or the lighter is better? This might be too dark. Or I could go with denim altogether different. No. Or we could go with dark blue. Not liking it. Ooh, way too much. And I don't think this purpley blue will go. Although, it might. That's a navy blue. And a purpley blue. Okay, so let me just see. So if I put this under there, that's what that looks like. That's one idea. Then I have the purpley blue, which is a little bit, oh, look at how that pops off. That's good too. I like how that pops. So I'm already going to say no to this guy. And then there's a navy blue. It's all right, but I think the other one pops so much better. Yeah, I think we're going with that stark contrast. Alrighty, with the yellow. Okay, so I need to cut this down now. The trick is, do I want a white outline? I think I might actually want a white outline on this one. Let's get our black paper here so we can see. We give ourselves like 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Then this guy goes in the center. Just randomly throw these guys on there. Do I like it with a border or no border? Border or no border? This one's tricky. I like it both ways. Let's see the border again. I think I'm going to have to do it with no border. I just like the way that pops. Alright, so this, if I'm not mistaken, is already 4 1/4 inches. So I think that that will cover nicely. Yes, it does. And this one has a funny fuzzy thing at the top too. All right, now we're going to cut it to 5 1/4, or 5 1/2 rather. Not 5 1/4, Chris. Here we go. And that should fit perfectly. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, let's get that down. I'm going to stick that right on there so it covers all the edges. There we go. It's a beautiful purple blue. I don't know that you're seeing it the same way I'm seeing it, but it is gorgeous. And I'm going to put this guy in the center. I like the yellow. I just feel like, whoops, the yellow gives it some pop, because this color is kind of wishy-washy. We're going to put it in the center. Again, I'm just eyeballing, but you can measure if you choose to. Now, this guy's going to go there. That guy's going to go up there. These guys are going to go across the bottom. And this is going to go in the center. I think I'm going to trim this up just a tiny bit. And I think I'm going to pop dot that. And I know that the typeset is kind of the wrong color, but I'm going to ignore it because I can. Now, let's get you lined up. And I'm using this edge of the plastic. Oh, you can't see me. I'm on the wrong side of the camera. There we go. I'm using this edge of the plastic to line up the bottom of the type so that it all kind of goes evenly. There we go, because I found that it was not even. And then I'm going to just do that sort of all the way around. And there we go. I need a small bit off the top. Actually, I'm going to pull it down to the bottom because I find the bottom of this cutter works better sometimes than when you're doing certain things. I'm just going to take slivers at a time until we like what we see. There we go. Yes, that's much better. All right. Sometimes a lot of white space is a good thing. Other times, not so much. And so then that's going to get popped up. Do I want to take a little more off the sides? I think I will, because we want to see the yellow behind it. So we're going to line that up with the edge. So I lined it up with the edge of the paper and gave it that 1/8 of an inch. And it's just a tiny bit more, but everything makes a difference. There we go. Now we can see the yellow on either side. All right, so these guys have to have some room. They've got big ears. And these guys can come up a little bit as well. So I'm going to need to pop dot this and put it down first. I am going to put 2mm pop dot on it. And just one big piece across the center there. And I want it in this area, but I want it to be centered. So let's make sure. There we go. Beautiful. Now, I feel like I want this to be pop dotted. So here's a trick. So I am going to fold along the line where this egg and the bunny meet. Okay. And I'm going to do the same where the chick and the egg meet. And I'm going to take my thumb and just carefully, trying not to make any divots with my fingernails, I'm just going to try to make this a little bit puffy and rounded. And I'm going to put a pop dot under there. Just sort of in the center. Whoops. And again, play with it a little bit. And then these guys are going to get regular adhesive, so they'll be flat. Get adhesive. Well, I was going to say we could turn up the ears, but one of the ears is already turned down, so that might not work as well. Okay, so here's the trick. We want to get, it's not quite center, we want to put this one in and press down these guys on either side so it forces this to be round and popped. So let's get that off there. So I don't know if you can see how rounded it is, but when you look at it, it looks like it's coming out from the actual card versus these guys that are flat. His bunny ears are a little bit out. And I'm going to do the same thing here, but only to the center of this guy. And I'm going to put a tiny dot on a little bit on that one right in the center. And we're going to put flat everywhere else. There we go. And that should all kind of like pop that up. And I'm going to push into the center so that actually makes that pop up. And it gives that 3D look. It's hard for me to show you on camera, but it really does look 3D. It looks like that first piece is just popping out of the card, and this one is popping out of the card. Can't really do it to this guy, so we're going to leave him on his own. Oh, I put them in opposite corners. Didn't really want to do that. Let's see if I can carefully maneuver him off of there. The reason I'm changing him is because this is heavy on this side, so I want to balance it on that side. There we go. That was way easier than it should have been. And this is light on this side, so I'm balancing that on this side. So back to what I was doing. Putting this guy, pushing into the center, and there we go. This guy's going to be flat. And you might notice there's some tape on the back of this. That's because I cut the ears off. I had the two papers together when I started fussy cutting the gnomes, and I didn't realize I had the bunnies underneath, but you can't tell. That's the awesome part of it. There we go. All right. Now, do I need something? I don't even know if I need this little bunny or this little egg. No egg. All right, and to finish this one off, we are also going to do some glossy accents. And we're going to do it on the bunny nose and the little eyeballs. And the chickaroony. And the dots on the eggs. Because we can. There we go. And I am even going to add a little bit of wink of Stella. Now in my notes I usually include with the video, I cannot tell you what stamp was used or what paper was used because it came from someone else. But I can just put in, you know, the wink of Stella and my cutter and anything else that I use that I know. Now that is cute. I'm going to glossy up their little paintbrushes because I can. And you have to be very careful with the wink of Stella, getting it on such small stuff. So the light touch, you don't want to put too much pressure. Very cute. And I'll just put some blue sparkle on the blue card. And since That's blue. I'll make sure the blue paint has some. Got some more of that blue over here. Whoops. And I think we're good to go. You don't want to overdo it. All right, so look at how cute that card is. Let me turn down the light a little so you can see the glitter and the glossy accents all playing on that card. Very fun. All right. So back to finishing off this last card. I'm not liking this purple for this. I don't think I can get away with blue and yellow. Or maybe I can. Maybe it depends what the background is now. I want to do blue. Not really. What about dark blue? Nope. So, let's see if I have a pink. A pink that will go with pink that is already there. So this darker, sort of darker magenta, dark magenta color there might work. Whoops. Let's look at the pinks. All right. Or, oh, no, that's, well, maybe. What do we have here? Is that too much? Ooh, yeah. I got that. Let's see. So imagine that not there. Oh, that might not even be a bad thing. It's a little loud, but it's not too bad. Then I have this paler thing that has multiple colors on it. But I think that's too pale. I'm kind of feeling this. Kind of feeling that. It's on the other side of that. Oh. So that's pastel-y green, but it's so mute. I want some pizzazz. What else do we have here? I have a rainbowy kind of pizzazz. That might be a little less crazy than that one. Although I do like this one. I don't know why. I have no answer to that question. And then there's, I don't think that's big enough. Nope. What else do I have? I have these blue stripes. So it would be something like that. No, that's just not enough. This is too much and that's not enough. Alrighty. Too pale. Is that true? Is it too pale? Yes, it is too pale. I saw something here. Got butterflies. Butterflies. No, because you can't even tell they're butterflies. All right. We are putting all this other stuff back, and we're going with the stripes, the really wild stripes, because I like it. Get myself a card. Now, I may want to do a white strip, but let's see. Look at that fuzzy thing on the end there. It's on both ends of this card. Don't even know what that is. Alrighty, so I'm going to pretend that this is like that, and this is like that, and that's like that, and that's Happy Easter, and we got the two children. Alright, so that's without a border, and this is with a border. I actually think the border is going to help in this case. Won't make this so crazy. So let's do the cutting. So if I want to do 3/8 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch. So, whoops, excuse my phone. It's making all kinds of noises. So 4 1/4 is full, and if I go back 3/8 of an inch, I think that will give a good size. It's like 3/16 of an inch will be the border, so it's just a little over. So that's good. And there's 5, and I go back 3/8 of an inch. And I think I want to turn that around. 5 1/2. Go back 3/8 of an inch. There we go. Oh, I like that stripe. It's giving me all kinds of wanting to have more of it feelings. There we go. That will work beautifully. So let's finish this up. And that was a doodle bug, the back of some kind of, it's the back of the advertising of a doodle bug tags product. So you'll never find that again. Which is unfortunate because I really like it. Now let's make sure that's more or less even. There we go. All right, so I think that that is going to make the difference. Now I am going to glue this flat down to the back. And I'm going to center it. That's the hardest part of the whole thing, is centering. There we go. It looks weird because there's a bit, this is short, and that little bit makes up for the bit that's short. And okay, out of curiosity, let's just see if I am anywhere close. So that is 7/8 or 7/16, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7/16. That's crazy. That is centered, and I did it with my eyeballs. It can be done. Alrighty, and now this little guy is going to get glued on the center of that. I'm standing up, folks, if my speaking is louder than usual. Whoops. Let's get this centered. Does that look good? It's hard for me to tell. We're going to go with it. Alrighty, and these guys I'm going to pop dot. Actually, I'm going to leave the little girl in the background. I'm going to pop dot the little boy in the foreground. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. So let's get some pop dots. I'm going to do 2mm pop dots for this guy because I have no other dimension. And get his head nice and popped. Make sure I can't see anything. That's good. Just a tiny piece for in the middle there. All right. I have to remember that I'm going to be putting Happy Easter at the top corner. So, our little friend is going to be squatting right there. And then this little girl is going to be behind him looking on. There we go. And then I'm going to trim up my Happy Easter. Let me just make sure this, yeah, that's kind of crooked. Thought so. Okay. Make sure that there we go. And I don't know why I love that color. You can see it in her dress, so we're going to do our little make it stand out routine. I'm not quite touching the ends, so it looks purposely done by hand. I'm going to do 1mm on that so it is pop but not beyond what the characters are, and just to give it a little bit of dimension, not too much. And oops, there we go. Look at that. Is that ever bright and cheerful? I do love it. But you know what? I need to have a black line around the outside edge, because this doesn't, it feels to me like it's falling off the page. Isn't that interesting? All right, hand drawing a line. You don't look at the tip of your pen. You look ahead of the tip of your pen to get a fairly decent straight line. If you look at the tip of your pen, you don't know where you're going. Whereas you look just a little in front of your pen, you have an idea. And it's still very sketchy, and it's still very wiggly, I think that works now because that paper is definitely on there. Okay, let's get some sparkle. I'm going to put some sparkle in the bow and in the shoes because, you know, some of us like our sparkly things. I'm going to add some sparkle to his blue egg and her blue egg, but I'm going to go over it with Glossy Accents. Oh, just get some of the leftover Glossy Accents from last time off there. And there we go. So everything has got some Glossy Accents on it. And I'm going to leave it at that. Just very subtle. Because that straight background has enough impact. See if I can get some. There you go. Sparkle and glitter and 3 dimensions on those eggs. Alrighty. So let's just take a look at everything we have here. Here are our, I'm going to separate these guys up. The 4 cards we created today with things that people have given us. And the only thing I didn't use was one little egg. And I may find a spot for that little egg. But right now, it's the only thing I didn't use. And look how gorgeous these cards are. Here, let me put them in a different format. There we go. I love them. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel at the end of the video under the video in YouTube. And I will see you next Thursday. Have a great week. Bye.